called a terrible mayor by the President of the United States on the world stage, in fact on Air Force One. And things really couldn't have got much worse for Sadiq Khan, even though earlier this year he was, well, to some people's amazement and shock, well, he was given a knighthood from none other than His Majesty the King, King Charles III. But now, all thanks to a very, very deep investigation by a leading national newspaper over here and a pioneering lady called Maggie Oliver, well, things are starting to fall apart for none other than the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as ever, welcome one and all brand new subscribers. We're inside a little bit of an alcove today, simply because once again, it's just started torrentially raining. Of course, some people might say tenuous link here, chums. Some people might say, of course, it's heavy rain going over into City Hall, which is the home currently of the current Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. Now, if you remember, I've done a lot of reports about exactly Sadiq Khan and his inability basically to answer anything. Having interviewed him myself, you know, if you step out of line, you're then put on the naughty step. So now I will never be asked to go back and interview the mayor simply because he didn't like my line of questioning. You get the picture. So if you're not really conforming, well, then, you know, there's a problem for that particular unit. It's interesting because even though these were the headlines coming out of London and, of course, across the United Kingdom regarding the grooming gangs and London itself, well, both the mainstream media elements, including Sky News and the BBC, the one that we, the British taxpayer, pay a lot of money for, well, they didn't really delve into the story, even though it's an exclusive special investigation by, as I say, a leading newspaper, the Daily Express, and a wonderful woman called Maggie Oliver, who's done so much to help support and guide and unearth all the disgusting and terrible things going on behind those rape grooming gangs, right? Now, here's where it gets interesting, because if you remember a while back, Councillor Susan Hall for the Conservatives was shot down in flames for suggesting that, you know, to the Mayor of London in an open forum at City Hall, well, what was the situation in London? Do we have them similarly, say, to the areas of Rotherham, Rochdale, Bradford, etc.? Apparently, Sadiq Khan feigned complete disinterest. He didn't know what she was talking about. He batted it away. Now, where it gets interesting is this, because now not only did he bat it away, but also his deputy for crime and commission. That's right, this particular woman. Take a listen to her.
Misunderstanding. Can she define what she means by that? What does she mean by that? Today we need to give a full answer. Can she be clear what she means by that? I'm not sure clear what she means. I'm not sure why she's so nervous to say what she means. What do you mean?
No. I'm saying exactly what I mean. I asked you 8 times if we had rape gangs in London. Not only did you not know whether we had these gangs, but you didn't even seem to know what a grooming gang was. So can you confirm now that you actually know and understand what these grooming gangs are?
I think the Mirror is in danger of misleading. I've read the transcript of the January meeting, which is the issue in London is there are no reported cases or indication of those sorts of grooming gangs. We do have a concern in relation to county lines.
Do you believe, Mr. Mayor, that there are grooming gangs now in London?
So, Chair, in London, the vast majority of what we're dealing with is county lines, criminal networks,
Sorry,
drugs.
Mr. Mayor, can I stop you? This is the answer you keep giving me. You know what a grooming gang is. Does London have rape gangs in it?
Chair, the picture in London is different to what we see in other parts of the country.
In London, the majority of the picture we see around group-based sexual violence is connected to sexual exploitation, criminal exploitation through things like county lines.
Deputy Mayor, I keep getting that response and nobody will answer me straight. Do we or do we not have these grooming gangs, or I call them rape gangs, in London?
Sorry, Assembly Member Hall, do you want me to provide a hierarchy of abuse on children?
I just want you to answer.
Assembly Member Hall, this is a
where former Detective John Wedger stated that he was threatened by senior officers in Scotland Yard for his investigations into grooming gangs in London, stating that he would lose his home, his job and his children if he came forward with information regarding these grooming gangs. Do you have confidence in the Met's senior leadership that whistleblowers will be supported in calling out cover-ups of child sexual exploitation? Because I've spoken to the victims. or some. I've got more to speak to, and hopefully more will come forward. I find it very difficult to believe that it happened a few years ago and is not happening now. I hope to God I'm wrong.
Sexual exploitation we see less of, but we do see it. In terms of multiple offender, so sort of, I hesitate to use the word gang, but using multiple offender cases, we have a steady flow of those. We've got several live current investigations. What we see in London with our current caseload is gangs of different different heritages that are more varied and more reflective of the variety of heritage we see across London.
So as you can see, Councillor Susan Hall tried her very best to hold the Mayor and the Deputy accountable, but nothing. Now here's where it gets really interesting, because as I say, it's a developing story, and for legalities you have to be careful exactly what the parameters are, what you're allowed to say. This is now turning into an investigation, but it's not looking great, of course, for the Mayor of London, let's just put it that way. And the would-be wannabe Mayor, Ant Middleton, is already calling for his full resignation. Many are suggesting on online forums that he should be arrested. What did he know? Because clearly he is in the direct line of having all of that particular information. It's another, many people suggest, and again I have to say allegedly, mess that could converse on something of a cover-up regarding the Metropolitan Police. Clearly, you know, what this newspaper have unearthed is, well, revelation upon revelation. And as I say, it doesn't look good. Naturally, Sadiq Khan just decides to ignore it and put out yet another banal message on the social media pages of course, his City Hall remit. Now, here's where this gets interesting, because you see, behind the scenes, Sadiq Khan found this previously before. There are no friends in politics, right? Absolutely none at all. And if you remember earlier this year, when President Trump was sat alongside our very own current British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, up in Scotland, Trump very openly decided to rip into the Mayor of London. Suddenly, very feebly, the Prime Minister said, oh, well, actually, he's a friend of mine. I mean, he's a friend. And, so Trump just ignored it and carried on. According to excellent sources at Downing Street, apparently the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, is absolutely dismayed that his friend, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, has yet to come out and even just say, we need to wait until there's a full and frank investigation before I can comment. At the time of recording this, nothing. And what's also interesting is the apparent investigation into the grooming gangs, which of course was a panel going to be set up looking into it. People are already starting to resign because allegedly they're not given the information required in order to really delve into this atrocious behaviour of those individuals. Many are suggesting also the reason being, and again I have to say allegedly, is the fact that the Labour Party don't want to offend their now only voting operation, which would be the Muslim vote. Right now things are looking very precarious for the Mayor of London. At some point he's going to have to face the music, and not just the softly approach of either LBC Radio or indeed the very friendly BBC London. Naturally, as I say, this is a developing story. When I know more, you'll know more. But one thing you can be rest assured of, Keir is looking after himself. Neil Shawn in the very heart of London.